Well, hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Here we are. Welcome to Friday Night Lights. and so it's so good to see everybody. I actually decided tonight that I'm going to just be live on YouTube tonight. And that's what felt right. So I invited everybody from TikTok to come over here, but I'm going to focus my energy tonight here. That feels really right. So I hope everybody is well. Feel free to say hello in the chat. I'm really excited about tonight's session. This, we have been having so much big energy going on this planet. And I have, and many people commenting on it, which is what happens, right, with all of us humans. And I just feel such a need to go in close to my community and just see how everyone's doing. And then hopefully my task this evening is to be able to shed light and to provide, a safe space to process, but also to get inspiration and messages and guidance. And that's what feels really right to me. So I hope that is something that you will all enjoy as well. Hello. I love Cat Lady of the Sea already. Oh, hello. Heber, how are you? I need to get back to you. I'm so sorry. It's so good to see everybody. So I'm so excited. If you're just joining, I'll just, first of all, quickly, thank you for being here. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Carrie Koss. I'm a spiritual mentor, a psychic medium, and a teacher. And I live stream a couple times a week. And also I teach classes. I do private sessions and coaching. So I'm so excited you guys are here. And if it's your first time coming to a Friday night live stream, well, welcome. I want to go over with you what we do on Friday nights, because it tends to be there's a nice flow of things we do. Sometimes there's new things that come up, but in general, we find in this community that this framework seems to really serve our community. So I'll just kind of put that up on the board, as it were. Now, if anybody does decide, oh, I'd love to get a reading tonight, right? I have readings that I am absolutely do and can also provide for you guys. So just to let you know, it's sort of how it works. So if you go, I'd really love a reading. What we can do is, first of all, we always do collective readings. That's primarily what we're doing most of the time. But we also, there's an opportunity if you did want to be guaranteed a reading, you can purchase a reading, and all the information will be in the banner below. But mainly we're here for community. We're for psychic insight. We're here for guidance. And if you are newer to my work, I am a medium. So I do trance channeling, and I work with a variety of different spirits that come through. I work with a lot of goddesses. Also channeling my own guides. And then we also work with sometimes archangels. We get a lot of information. So there's all sorts of really good things going on. So and normally sometimes we also do, I was going to say we channel. Hi, Christy. So sometimes we do, we connect in with TikTok at the same time. Today, I am feeling like I just want to focus on my YouTube people. That feels absolutely right. And also branching my energy out is something that, I'm okay with doing, but I've done it a lot this week. And so I feel the need to kind of just dig into this community. So I'm really excited. So I want to talk to you guys. Now, everybody may remember, I'm going to bring forth the card because so much happens in a week that, you guys know things happen very quickly around here. So as you can see, every week, we connect in and ask one of the goddesses or one of the, I would say, deities or angels or the wonderful benevolent beings we work with to come forward to give us messages. And usually, unanimously, one of them, hi, Amber, one of them will come forward. And it's like everybody in the council that I work with decides. And sometimes we have, I call them like a guest speaker. Now, I have to tell you guys something because it happened yesterday. So who did we bring forth last week? Everybody will probably remember we brought forth Mother Mary. And so again, we don't practice a religion here. This is really more spirituality. And also I tend to lean more towards, an earth-based spiritual practice. I am a priestess, and a witch. So I really connect with more of the sacred feminine and things of that nature. And Mother Mary does step forward for us, not as linked specifically just to the Christian church. She is more of an ascended master. And when she came forward last week, I trance channeled her. That was a really special moment. And she just gave a beautiful message of hope, inspiration, and also healing. Remember that? And we did a little guided journey with her, which was so special. And I thought it was just exactly what was needed for what was happening last week, I thought. So that was exceptionally special. And so I want to thank her this week. Now, I have to tell you now, I will not tell you what happened in the different readings I did privately, but I will tell you Mother Mary came forward for some of the clients I worked with this week, very specifically, and during those sessions. So and one of the sessions, which is of course my clients are anonymous, so is working on conception, and so it was just one of those beautiful moments. I think what happens often when we connect in with the goddesses or the spirits, the deities, they are overshadowing everyone, sort of helping people. So which I think is so fantastic. And so that's what we had going on last week. That was a beautiful moment. The next thing we're going to be doing together is we're going to be bringing forth a message from the Akashic Records. Now, I really also want to let all of you know that I am teaching a free workshop next weekend on the 29th, which is learning, just going into your Akashic Records. It'll be an experience of going into your records. And I think it's probably pretty known that I teach people how to work in their Akashic Records. I also teach people and help people become certified in doing that professionally and and clearing energy. So that's something, if you're interested, feel free to sign up. All the information about signing up you can find in the link tree, which I will connect to this video, or if you wanted to get more information, you can always put a comment below and I will answer it in the comments. Very easy to register. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be working in the Akashic Records, but we're also going to get a message from the ancestors. So we have a lot of really wonderful things. Now, I wanted to find out from all of you, how's everybody's week been this week? What have you all noticed? How are things going? How's everybody feeling? And what have you noticed in your energy? And while you guys are doing that, I'm just going to start getting my energy ready to connect with whichever spirit's going to come forward to us. Let's see what everybody has to say today. It definitely was, what I like to say is, I think, and especially after last week, a very big adjustment in the energy, and it does feel much calmer to me this week. You feel like you're shedding again. Hi, Ashley. Hi. Oh my gosh. Hello, everybody. Kind of chaotic at the beginning of the week today of zero energy. Yeah, that really makes sense. Absolutely. And I'm shedding again, a lot of ups and downs. Busy week, but better than the previous week. Okay, good. Yes, the previous week was very difficult. Very polarizing, very difficult for people just in general, right? So, well, good. Well, I'm glad everyone's here. So now I'm not going to do probably any trance channeling today. My energy is, I had a very big day of readings yesterday, and I have a big day tomorrow. So I'm going to do self-care for energy. And I think what I'm going to be doing is connecting and then getting messages and then bringing forth with cards. So we'll see. Busy week, lots of thriving, but working through old blocks. I like it. Beautiful. Okay, good. Well, let's get started, guys. I'm going to check in and see who's here with us, bring through whoever wants to come through. I feel like we'll probably get messages somehow. They'll work with me. I'll probably keep my eyes closed for a lot of this, everybody. You've been sick, so getting a lot of rest. Oh, I hope you're feeling a little bit on the mend, Christy. Thank you for being here. All right, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm just going to see who's here. And again, probably I have a feeling that this will be a lot of me connecting with them, more inspirational speaking, and then telling you what they're getting. Okay. And feel free to put comments in there. And if you have questions for the spirit who's coming forward, I will ask. Okay. Now, I do want to let you guys know, I think I've told many of you that everybody, I think, probably knows by now, I have a spiritual membership called Goddess Rising. And in Goddess Rising, we do, it's a very supportive space to work on healing your spiritual growth, ascension, developing your abilities. community, but we also have a theme every month that really ties in with the seasons of the year. And also what I like to say are, it's connected, you could be say loosely, to the wheel of the year, but we sort of personalize it ourselves. And so we work with a different theme every month, but a different spirit every month. And so that's really fantastic. I'm very excited about September. I think we're going to be working with Mother Isis, or Aset, of course, the Kemetic Egyptian goddess, and we haven't brought her forth. I think she's coming forth. So with that, you're really getting an incredibly special experience that would be connected to the highlights of how that spirit comes forward. And really, I will tell you already with Isis, she tends to, when she comes with us, works a lot on body positivity, on physical, transformation, and on you standing really strong in your own power. So she is, she's been part of my initiation as a priestess, and very big part. And so she will be in it. Now, if you're interested in that membership, I would really look into it. Again, the links are on the bio. But also, if you join the tier that's called the Goddess Rising Circle tier, love her too. You also can have a couple nights of developments per month. So it's it's a wonderful opportunity. I would really check it out. So we've been having a wonderful time. Yay. I know, Allie, it's so good to see you. Allie's in that as well as Heber's in there. It's wonderful. Amber's in there. Yeah. So we have a wonderful time, and I've been really enjoying. Heber, you're going to have to come back. And I've been really enjoying, because right now in the membership, we're going through the tarot, and then we have people practicing with their readings. I would really encourage you guys to check it out. It's like very special. So more to come. All right, let me just see who's here as we're getting started. Again, I don't know what's going to happen, because you guys know I never do. Oh, I think I know who's coming in. Do I have her picture up here? Yes, I do. Okay, hang on. I hear her. Just a second. All right, she made herself known. So typically with the spirits, I often get them pretty quickly, and especially if I already work with them, this is the case. And I haven't talked to her in a while, so this will be really, really nice. So let me see what she has coming up for us here. Beautiful, beautiful. We are here. Oh, Nicola, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for introducing yourself. We're so excited to have new people with us, so I'm thrilled. Thank you for introducing yourself. Everybody, welcome Nicola into our little family here on the subscribers. I have to say, you guys, and if the world had to shut down and they told me I could only have one social media platform, without a doubt, and even though my following is so much smaller here, I would choose YouTube, because I feel like it's so befitting. The platform is just really so special for getting to know people. And also, we are not in a rush. We aren't in a rush to go through things. Hi, Carrie. Because on YouTube, you're not as micromanaged, first of all. And you also can take your time, which is much more befitting of the work that I do, which is that we're not rushing. And we're not, trying to put out spray everybody with a fire hose. We're just here to have tea together, to hang out on Fridays. Me too. I love the energy. I'm such a YouTuber. I'm like in it for the long haul. So this is why I feel like, okay, last week we brought in TikTok into the fold, and I'll still bring them in because that's important, because people don't know about us over here. But I was like, I can't do it on TikTok tonight. I'm going to only do YouTube. I just can't. It's just too much energy. So, all right. So anyway, it's so good to have you here, Nicola. And I just want to say quickly that everybody that this is my Nicola. I don't want to call you out. Is this my Are we working together right now? Am I like so daft? I just didn't realize that. Are you my Nicola from PDX? Not to call you out. Sometimes it takes me a second. I'm like, dude, if that's the case, boy, okay, hang on, let me grab. It's probably true. And then it's like, yep, that's me. You get overwhelmed with the energy on TikTok. I do. I mean, I'm appreciative because that's how I met so many people. I really am. But at the same time, I feel it's just so invasive for your aura, I think, energetically, especially if you've had a big week. Yes. Oh my God, Nicola, hilarious. Nicola is one of my coaching clients in Portland. It's hilarious, Nicola. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the community. Nicola, you're going to have to come next Wednesday to the, I'm meeting so many people in Portland right now, you guys. It's so fun from my work in person, which I'm trying to encourage my students to come. Okay. So everybody, welcome in. Yes. And also I would say, Nicola, you've got to come next Wednesday to practice for development. We would love to have you there. Okay. Now let's get started. So today, and I can feel this, the goddess stepping forward is Freya. Freya, Queen of the North, as it were. Let's call her the Queen of the North. I can feel her coming in. She is one and the same Freya that we know. And you know what, you guys, I realize I haven't had Freya yet in Goddess Rising, so I have to check that too. So I think I have her listed for the month of November. So I think she's kind of coming forward, like in a boss energy. So I'm going to just channel her energy and see what she's giving me. Again, I don't know if I'll bring her through because my energy's a little low, and I've been doing a ton of channeling. Good. Oh, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to close my eyes, guys. I'm just going to connect with Freya's energy and see what she has to say. Okay, so it's going to be more of telepathic and sharing. Okay, guys, let's get started. And then we'll bring out the book and we'll read more about Freya too. Okay. It feels better. It's going to be one of those situations that I'm going to be, I think I have to channel her because it just sounds so much more like her. So I think I'll channel her. So let's just do it. All right, here she comes. All right. Now is such an important time for all of you to be yourselves in courage. When I say encourage, I mean in courage, stepping into courage. There's so many places right now on the earth where people are whitewashing very intense experiences. And so it's really important to be as wise and authentic at the same time. You're very noble to be on your spiritual path during this time. This is definitely a lifetime you've chosen well, but also note that it's a challenging time. We hear the whispers when you ask us for help and guidance, and we are always near. But also remember, we're trying to reflect back to you your own wisdom, and we're trying to give you guidance on your journey so that you can sort it out for yourself. Because really, the trip is yours and it's not ours. So we try to reflect back to you and mirror the wisdom that you are. One thing I would like to say to you about working with deities, angels, ancestors, or wise wisdom keepers is that the idea that you have to bow down to us or forget who you are and think you are just a number among many of those that follow us is an illusion. Really, you are just as equally part of the divine as we are. No more, no less. And we try to remind you of that reflection. So it's really important during this time when you feel sometimes very small and insignificant that you understand that being frightened of your own fear or feeling as if you don't have strength is a misalignment. So take the time when you can to look at yourself in the mirror and remind yourself of your strength and courage. You know, we have a saying as Valkyries, as those that protect and those that walk with those who've passed over. You are as strong of a knight and as strong of a person if you stand in courage, even when you are doubtful that you have anything to fight with. When you hold on to the lamp and the lantern at the same time and realize the lamp you hold is actually being ignited by your heart, because your heart has light within it. So remember this the next time you start to feel small and feel insignificant and feel as though you need courage, that the light is lit from within. If you feel tested, it's not meant to be pass or fail. It's meant to encourage you and build the muscle, the strength that you can find within. So take your time now and enjoy yourself. Rest when you need to, and look for your own courage and strength. We will leave you now, as this one channeling is a little bit weary. We do not want to activate her interior muscles too much so she can continue this experience for all of you. We hope you are all well. Blessings. That was actually nice. So Freya, Cat Lady of the Sea, it's so nice to meet you. Actually, for this portion, I might do pulling cards at the end. But what we do at first is we always do collective readings. So I hope you can stay for that. So these are a couple of the pictures I have of Freya that are images. Again, if you're not familiar with Freya, she's a Norse goddess. She has an alignment. Some of her symbolism is being on a chariot and having cats pull her chariot. Oh, wait a minute. I do have this Cat Lady of the Sea. I realize she's a new subscriber. So in fact, she does get a card. That's a new thing. Okay. Let me pull her a card, and then everybody else will pull cards at the end. So let's hold on to that since she's here. I just realized that. I don't want to contradict myself. Are you ready, Cat Lady of the Sea? Let me get you a card. And then everybody else, I'll get you a card shortly too. And then we'll go into Freya. Okay, we'll talk about Freya. Beautiful. Okay, my sweetie. Here you go. Look at this stunning card you got. It says beauty. Now, one thing I have been working with my guides on is that when we see this archway, it is a symbol for us that we are going through a threshold on our journey, and that we are crossing into a place that is possibly new for us, and there's new opportunities. But also sometimes when we go through this place of, transition, we can not be completely sure of our footing because we're going from one surface to the next surface. So as you're going through this transition, be sure to take breaks whenever needed and get refreshments, is what I'm hearing from your guides along the way, and just enjoy the journey. So that's what I have. So beautiful. All right. I'm going to pull one for Nicola too. And then everybody else, I'll definitely get you guys later. If you are brand new to my live stream, let me know and I will pull you a card. And also if you want to be guaranteed a reading at the end, you can register there. You can go to my PayPal. I have a link in my profile and they're just $35 for, a reading. Okay, this is for Nicola. You're very welcome. I love this for you, Nicola. You're getting the card of breakthrough, which is really showing. I love when we get the Pegasus. I will say that I love the golden light that's coming through on the horizon for this beautiful Pegasus, which for me means when you're going into the gold vibration, you're going into like that higher plane, that you're getting clearer in your upper chakras, right? That's that sign of like we're coming forth and we're opening up that channel so wonderfully. So I love that for you. All right. Now, I want to go a little more into Freya. So let me pull out our book, everybody. Okay. Everybody doing good? Hoping so. So again, just want to let everybody know we are working with this. Let me go into this a little more. So this particular book, which I really am quite a fan of. So when you start working with goddesses or deities, it's always great to sort of go in there and do some research, learn a little bit about their history. How were they venerated in days of antiquity? And what are their correspondences, things like that. As you're opening up your energy and getting to know the spirit, that's like one of the steps. There's more steps involved. If you want to know more about those, please feel free to check out my membership of Goddess Rising, because we go more into ancestral veneration in there. Okay, Hekate's page just opened. So we'll just open up Freya's and we'll give you a little more insight into her. We have pulled her before as a goddess to kind of watch over us. It's always a pleasure. I'm definitely feeling the pre-breakthrough tension. Oh, you're so welcome. I'm so glad you're here with us to just enjoy. So happy about that. All right, let me go and find my Freya. She should be here soon. All right. You are coming soon, Freya. There you are. Okay, look at how beautiful this illustration is, you guys. Isn't that yummy? Now, you guys know these are long, and so stick with me. I actually, you know what, you guys? I realize I have 3 different pictures of Freya. A lot of them. Let me see if I have the other one here. I'll find the other one before we leave. I have 3 cards of Freya in all these decks. So, are you ready? Okay. Here are her themes, Freya's themes. Again, she's a Norse goddess. Fertility, nature, pleasure, death, warfare, travel, mourning, and gold. And she's also, it says Sadir, which I'm sure means something important, right? Freya is arguably the most venerated goddess of Norse mythology, as well as the female deity who is the most prominent in surviving sources. She is not attested outside of Scandinavia. It is common for scholars to interpret plenty of female figures from Norse lore not as individual entities, but as mere aspects of Freya in her function as the great goddess. This may be due to the fact that Freya's name can be misunderstood as a title rather than as an actual name. Freya translates to lady in Old Norse. Freya is associated with abundance, war, gold, and the magic of Sadir, which I don't know what that means, actually. Even though she resides among the Aesir gods, she is a member of the Vanir, a group of deities who are closely linked to fertility, nature, and the primal wisdom. Okay. All right. So Freya's purpose. Freya is the divine model of a Viking sorceress. She has a lot of in common with Odin, who is the other major deity linked to magic in Norse mythology. She travels the worlds, giving herself different names and disguises. She searches for her husband, Odr, mind, frenzy, poetry, which could be interpreted as a concept rather than a person. Hence, Odr could be a metaphor for divine inspiration and wisdom. Freya's fondness of gold could be another symbol for the divine knowledge she desires. As such, Freya embodies the archetype of the witch. She is a self-reliant woman on a quest to find inspiration and wisdom. Her travels are fueled by purpose. Freya challenges you to think about the direction of your own path. What are you passionate about? What is your personal odor? And what is your why? There are countless things we can be enthusiastic about when reflecting about our passions. The topic of life purpose often comes to mind. Purpose can easily feel like a daunting, oppressive, and anxiety-inducing concept if approached in a dogmatic or absolute way. It is not something you are born with or have to go on a cosmic quest to discover. Purpose is something that you can cultivate yourself. So she encourages you to take time to determine your personal focus, reflect on your passions, and cultivate your individual sense of meaning. I really love that actually for her because, when she was speaking, I think she was talking about courage, right? Lighting your own lamp. And that is a completely you finding that's what a lot of smart people talk about with, when it comes to you deciding, like, what am I passionate about, is finding that within. So that's all part of your purpose. And so this is what she's saying. Very smart. What are you willing to struggle for? What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? How much time do you spend on things that are meaningful to you, and how much on activities that give you little to no joy and energy? How can you create balance between duty and pleasure? That's beautiful. So here are some of her associations. She is associated with amber, right? Amber is a resin. It's a tree resin. So that's something you can connect to her. She also is one of her roots is milkwort, right? So good, right? And that's a plant, right? So I think that's fantastic. And also, she's connected to a falcon feather. Now, I don't think it's going to be as easy for us to find falcon feathers, but that's certainly true. So first of all, we'll bring her over here to a thing. We want to thank Mother Mary. And then I also feel the need to pull some runes because you guys know Freya and Odin are connected to runes. So, and we do every month, how can you balance between duty and pleasure? I needed that. I'm so glad. Yeah. But she reminds me sometimes, not all the way. So maybe she wouldn't like me saying this, but she reminds me a little bit sometimes. Crystal, hello. She reminds me a little bit of, sometimes of Artemis, in that they're both very active physically. Their energy is very active, right? So guys, we're going to now pull some runes from my Elder Futhar, which I'll show you guys my deck. Many of you guys have seen this before, but let me pull it. Such a special deck. And we'll do a little reading on this. Okay. Now, some of you guys have seen this. Wow. Finding my purpose in life direction after a major loss has been my main focus in the last few months. That's beautiful. Oh, I'm so glad. So glad. That makes me so happy. You have no idea. That means a lot. Thank you. I'm so glad. This is my personal, I also have a smaller one too. I have this one, but this is mainly like an offering to Odin. Because many of you know Odin is sort of like the father of the runes, and the runes are very special. I highly encourage, if you're interested in pulling runes, they're a simple symbol, but they mean so much, and you can really pull a rune a day or a few runes together. You can also create with sigils with runes to make, for different intentions you might have. So anytime anytime we have Freya come forth, or Frigg is another one that was one of our Norse goddesses we work with, or Odin. Oh, I'm so glad. Amber says, work has been so busy, so I appreciate the reminder to balance duty and pleasure. I know, me too. I know. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to the gods and the goddesses that come forward. So that's a nice one. All right, let's just see what we're getting, friends. So I'm going to pick 3 of these, and you guys know this deck. I mean, this is very special. If you all know the Crow Tarot by MJ Cullinan, some people know that. MJ Cullinan is from where I'm from in the Pacific Northwest, and she created these herself. I don't know. She might just sell them really individually, but they're very special. And inside of them, this box, she goes through the meaning, a basic meaning of each of the runes. And so what we like to do is pull about 3, and they go together. So that'll be our message also from Freya for the week. Okay. So I'm just going to pull one with my non-dominant hand, 3 of them, and see what we get. Okay. Okay, we got a blank one, which is kind of like we get to fill that in. And ooh, yes, I think this is not Isa. I have to remember. This one is the Tiwaz, which is justice, war. This is very much a masculine energy. It's probably also connected to one of the male gods. I don't, the Norse ones. Let's see what the next one is. Okay, we also got this guy too. This in particular means, I'll find it, don't worry. This is Kanaz, which is, oh my gosh, this is courage, hope, discovery, and light, which seems very befitting because of what Freya was just telling us about courage. So I'm going to pick one more because of the blank and just so we get a little more context. And then the final one is Othala, which is heritage, home, and ancestry. Okay, let me show you guys all of them. Remember, this one is courage. This one is heritage and home. Okay, I'll hold those. Then we got a blank, so you can decide for yourself what that will be. Oh, this is working. And they're a little faint. And then finally, we have Tiwaz, which is justice, war, male energy. It's probably connected in with Thor, if I'm not mistaken. So we have a lot of very important kind of energy going on. And I would love for all of you to feel free to write down what you want to write in the chat about what you think this message is. I'll tell you what I think it is. Oh, I love that. Christy said, I found a set of runes a couple of years ago as if spirit just left them there for me. I think so. I think so. That's beautiful. So for me, I feel like being that we have this male energy starting out of like defense or war or some kind of a masculine, empiric energy. And I think more than likely, and then with having courage, I think this is just like Freya was saying, standing up for ourselves and really finding our own power and realizing that we have the power within us, right? This is, guys, can I tell you something? I just see this. This is when I know everything's working out. On Freya's card, I just want to show you this. Notice right here, guys, that symbol is on this card. Okay. And that's the card of what? Courage. That is what she told us to do. To have courage. Oh my goodness. You just can't make it up. That's how I feel. I think it's kind of like the feminine version of like, hey, do it, have courage. But also you're doing this for yourself because this is your heritage. This is, well, it's also your spiritual heritage too, and your sovereignty, and that wisdom you carry with you. Right. So I just feel like that's really an important context. I know that's a very important context. I mean, I just kind of sometimes think you just can't make this up. Sometimes it's just blows my mind how much the gods give us. It's just phenomenal. So I'm going to actually move into doing a little bit of this. Love that align like that. I know, crazy, not crazy bad, but I'm going to go into my runic tarot and bring in messages to continue this part of the reading, and then we'll go into the Akashic records. Okay, guys. This is, I think, all these just kind of prove how all of you guys are working with your guides so much more now, and how we are all getting these kind of messages and validations and synchronicities and, things that make sense. So I really love that so much. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's do some polls. Beautiful cards coming out. I just want to put my energy on these for a moment. Okay, let's see. What are they? Freya, what else do you want us to know? I just love that. Okay, she's sort of telling me what cards to pick. So we will do that. Okay, there we go. So you'll notice here, these are separate, but how we all got. Okay, take care. Have a great weekend. These are separate, but this is one of the Norse sort of symbols of probably protection there. So let's see what came through. We have the Ace of Cups. We have the King of Swords. We have the Lover's card and the Queen of Cups. We have some great energy coming out for this reading for them. So the Norse gods, goddesses are all really stepping forward. This makes sense to me. So for me, having a King of Swords here, but right next to the cups is just showing, masculine energy around us. This could be guides, ancestors, right? This could also be some of the deities you work with, honestly. But, we have that sword of Archangel Michael. That's definitely part of it. I have his candle here lit with me. He's been working around us more, and I think probably as a source of energetic protection, but also knowing that with this strong masculine energy, there's really a safety there and protection of what we cherish the most. That's home, hearth, heritage. That we're being strong for ourselves and our kin. So that's really what it feels like to me. And the other thing that it feels very prominent is right next to this, we're seeing these beautiful lilies next to the cup, which is, lilies are a very spiritual, obviously flower, but they also represent people's passing, rebirth, right? You probably know that. And for me also, they represent like wisdom and the energy of the sage. So, so this is again coming through and having that protection energy, but also the wisdom. I think this must be Archangel Michael's card for me, because Archangel Michael for me, it always has eagles, and these are eagles, bald eagles. So there he is for everybody, since he works with so many of us. And then finally, this is such a beautiful energy too. I'm looking at this. This is balance. Okay, so this is a combination of two different runes together. This is the Algiz and the Dagaz together. So it's a combination of protection, defense, and antlers, but also balance, new start, and the dawn. And that's a combination which they mention right here. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, guys. Remember the combination of, you can use 2 or 3 runes, symbols to create a whole intention. That's really important. And then also here we have the Two of Cups. So for me, the Two of Cups has a lot to do with, first, it starts with the relationship with yourself and spirit, right? And that connection you have with your heart and your intuition, your guides, but also then it's your relationship with what you cherish the most, whether that be a partner, your children, your pets, your family, friends, things like that, right? But then also we have the Queen of Cups, which is again, she's really focused on what she cherishes, what is most important to her. And for me, this is really a balance of the divine feminine, divine masculine as well, with both of these together and in harmony, right? So I love this illustration that we have here. Just a beautiful energy. So thank you, Freya, and all of the Norse gods for bringing through just such good messages and a lot of very synchronistic kind of symbols, which really helps all of us, right? All right, let's move into, friends. I'm going to put these few things away, and then we'll get into the Akashic Records reading. And let's just see. So I'm going to do a little more forecasting, okay, with the Akashic Records, meaning that I've been wanting to ask more about what's going on with the collective. What do we need to know? What's coming up? A little bit more forecasting. And I was going to do this channeling before I even came, and I was going to write it down, but I think I'm going to do it in live stream it, because I feel like it's important. So I'm going to do it more as an Akashic Records reading. So stay tuned. Okay. And I just want to see what they have to say, because, this is something I've been doing more and more and more, is just getting more guidance on future time energies. Okay, guys. So let me put this away. Okay. And away we go. All right, friends, here we are. And then definitely today, I'm going to pull cards for you guys since we have a nice quiet group. We'll do that after this too. Since we have a nice little quiet group, and that makes me so happy. Okay. Let me go into the Akashic Records for this collective. What do we need to know? I'm going to ask my guides specifically like questions about what's going on the planet right now. What are the energies we need to know about? And what's the guidance? What's the wisdom? What can we expect? I also kind of want to know what's going on with, I guess I could say in general, not to get extremely into like things in general, but what's going on with all of the tensions in the world, and what's the guidance? Like I'd love to get some downloads about that. So without getting heavily into saying certain names and things like that. Even though on YouTube people love talking about all of it, it's just not necessarily my thing, you know. So I'm not going to bend to pressure and just like do it because of clickbait. Okay, ready? You guys know that about me. Although I never say never. If my guides tell me to do something, they might want me to at some point speak on it. So you know what I mean. I'll go with wait. All right, let me check in. I might be closing my eyes. This is not going to be channeled. It's just going to be a reading. Okay. And if you guys do have questions, I can also ask those questions too, by the way. So feel free. If I can't ask them, I will. So what they're telling me right now, and I'll be as objective as I can, is that right now on the planet, we're dealing with what we call is a lot of contradiction, a lot of opposing energies and things that create conflict. And it's like I keep seeing these energies just like metal to metal hitting up against each other, and repetitively over and over and over again. But what it's making me feel like in the energy, at least this is just energetic, is that what that does is it sharpens the sword, right? It's interesting, the symbol of the sword, that it sharpens the sword. And if we look at this from purely the perspective of like spiritual lessons people are learning about contradiction. People are learning about conflict. People are learning about justice. That's a big part of this, right? And so on a spiritual level, even though it seems so difficult and sometimes disastrous and so bleak at times, from the perspective of the soul, this is us moving forward on our ascension path. Because in order to overcome these things, we can't just jump over them. We have to contend with them. We have to come up against them. Now, the message they're telling me is many of us in different lifetimes have been on different sides of the arguments. So there's not always one side that is winning and one side that's losing. There's just more circumstances. So even though when you're looking at it from the human perspective during this time, it seems like there's an obvious winner and an obvious loser, or there's an obviously someone who's right and someone's wrong. Really what we're learning about is the energy of how things conflict. And so the ultimate lesson really from a human perspective, from a spiritual perspective, is to not be in conflict, is to learn to make peace, is to learn to accept and to not have conflict with other humans. That's the ultimate goal. But the circumstances which have been set up make people have to get to the point where they get to be neutral and objective. Now, what they're saying is that some people aren't going to learn that lesson in this lifetime. Some people are going to a lot of people are staying on one side of the fence and in their corner, and they're unwilling to come into the middle. And the middle is really where you move on your ascension path and where you do, climb out of it, where you're not in judgment. You're not in fear. You're not in longing. You're in clarity. And that you don't do things based on fear, guilt, worry, indecision, but you do things based on clarity. So all these circumstances we're all dealing with and contending with, which many of them throw us off very into the deep end, of course, of our feelings and our fears and our concerns. But one of the things that is the trick is to learn to step away from the conflict. This doesn't mean passivity. It just means objectivity and neutrality, so that when you're making decisions and actions, you are not so caught up in the fight that you're not able to make a move that's based and centered in love. So that's a lot of what is going on right now. That's a huge, huge part of what's happening. I've been seeing that. And they've been telling me to back away and to be in this position of being more objective and neutral and not as caught up. And they're telling me I'm better serving humanity if I'm not so caught up. And I agree. I really agree. I think it's important. And that's why I've been leaning in for me during my lives on healing and letting go and shifting perspective and drawing upon, the energy. And that's why I think even Freya's coming in, Mother Mary's coming in. You see what I'm saying, you guys? So there's not a winner. There's not a loser, right? There is should be coming from a place of neutrality, objectivity, and love. And that is not easy to do especially when things are so polarizing. But at the same time, I keep getting this, they keep saying this thing to me, which I'm still figuring out what they're saying. Love that. After I go off the deep end, I was like, whoa, let me back up and realign. I know. And I've been feeling the need to pull back from all of that too, for your mental health. And so here's what I think. I had that exact conversation with a colleague today about coming from a place of love rather than it is for the tit for tat. Absolutely. I think that our guides are, because I think especially us as community, and spiritual community, literally are just being spiritualists. We have to come from that position. Because if we're not in a good place, we can't then be there for people and then pour into others. And for me I had to kind of get over the whole thing of being passive or thinking I'm passive. And I said, that's not passive. This is empowered. And then I'm pouring into people with healing and love and without judgment. And I think it's a very important thing. And just to not come from a place of, conspiracy theories. We don't do that anyway here, but a lot of people do. Or, also crashing out, thinking that the world's falling apart, and not believing in the divine coming through. You've been told that too. The importance of disengaging with the conflict and opposition and staying focused on the higher vision. Yeah, it's true. And then Ashley says, yeah, that's my battle because I care so much, but not saying anything definitely feels that way. Yeah. And I want to say, especially more as people who we consider ourselves activists in this group for sure, at least people who care and engage. I think the idea of us shifting our energy, think about what true power is though. True power is when you are sitting squarely with the divine and you come from that place of clarity and that you have that deeper knowledge and you're not reactionary, which is like, holy smokes, you're right. And my guides kept kind of going in that direction. And I really wish I want to channel more. Like I am going to do a channeling with my guides where I do, like I record it by myself and I'm going to ask all those questions and I'll get as much as I can. I'll share it with all you guys. I might even do it in a video. So stay tuned for that. I might channel it and then write it out. Here's the thing. In this world, I trust my guides. I trust them because, I've trusted them consciously for over 30 years and they've never led me down a wrong path. And so the more I lean into that being centered and that place of love and clarity and healing, that I guess we're all saying we're here to help heal, right? So that's what we're here to do. So I'm here for it, guys. I really, really am. And I am excited about what the future will bring, for all of us based on that. And I think us having optimism about the future and about not necessarily knowing what will happen, but knowing that, we're being led, in the direction we're being led, which I think is good. All right. So let us move on, friends, to the ancestor reading. Now, I want to bring out my ancestor deck, which I have two of them. And I'm kind of excited about seeing where they want us to go with these, right? So let's see, what is our message from our ancestors today? What do our ancestors want us to know for wisdom, guidance, and love, healing, and divinity? Let's see what we got, and then I'll pull everybody a card before we come to we finish ourselves up. This has been a nice live. It feels very gentle tonight, which I kind of needed that. For my energy again, and things of that nature. Yes, indeed. All right, friends. I'm going to just see what they want us to know. What do the ancestors want to say? Let's pick about 4 cards, just messages from all of you. What's the tea? Right? True. That's why I'm about to delete everything and just focus on my goals and higher path. That sounds amazing. I think it's amazing. I like it. And if you think about too, there's so many people who are wise people, who are healers, and even people who are, that are leaders who don't even have social media, So, all right, let's see. What do you have for us? Let's pull 3 cards from you. 1, 2, 3. And 3, and then I'll pull 3 here. We'll just see what your messages are. What are the messages for this evening from the ancestors? Okay. Five of Wands, definitely 9 of Wands. Yep. And then the Devil card. Well, there we go. I know Facebook. Yeah, Facebook's one of the most toxic for that, isn't it? 1000%. Okay, guys, here we go. I have my mother's energy coming through because this deck is one of the ones I use for my mama. My mom's energy just came through, Queen of Pentacles, even though she's a Queen of Swords, my mama in the spirit world, Ace of Swords, and then the 10 of Wands. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit of the lowdown of what I'm getting from the ancestors. Okay, and again, join me here, and then I'll definitely pull oracle cards for everybody after this who's here in the chat, which is so nice. So here's the thing. This maternal energy is coming forward for us, right? Which is the Queen of Pentacles energy. And what I love about the Queen of Pentacles energy, this is a very grounded ancestor message. So this would be the advice from an ancestor, I would say, who's gonna help you feel grounded, prioritize what's the most important, and cut out everything else. Okay. And so Queen of Pentacles with the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords really is like it's the sword of truth. It's Archangel Michael's sword, actually, too. We could say that because we're working so much with him in this collective lately. And I think this is this idea of like breaking through illusion, clearing out clutter, having a sense of like, again, when you feel clear, you feel empowered. When you feel that Ace is so awesome, isn't it, dude? I tell you. So, and the other thing about it too, for this is like when we get that sword of truth, that sort of clarity, it cuts through all the cords, it cuts through the density. And if you think about when you have opposing energies with other people, you have that consumes part of your energy. Your mom kept you grounded, Christy. I know, right? So this is definitely, I feel like this idea of like cutting through the what, like Christy said, things that make you feel ungrounded, things that make you feel unclear, things that make you feel pulled off your center. And I know that is exactly what Freya was saying to us, guys. And that, so that that Pentacles energy keeps us grounded. It's that, but it's also nurturing, self-aware, prioritizing what you want to invest in. That's very much part of that. What you want to build, what you want to put your energy towards, with the Ace of Swords being absolute truth coming in. I'm here for it. And then we can also say this card representing, like, it's 10 of Wands, but it's like, what do you want to build towards? And you're at the finish line with some of the things that either you've been working on or that are going on, but also that maternal energy is coming through again, that nurturing, loving, part of us that nurtures ourselves. Now, here's what's in the unconscious. These are just energies to be aware of this week. Okay, friends, we have the 5 of Wands here and the 9 of Wands. And right there, straight away, we know that this is the energy, 5 of Wands, of chaos, of things just being all pulling you in many different directions. And then the 9 of Wands just leading you just to this place of being, Dion. Oh, it's so good to see you. Stick around, you guys, because I'm going to be pulling cards for everybody after this. So the 9 of Wands, or isn't he look worse for the wear? I mean, this is the message is like, when your energy is pulled in so many directions and you feel so caught up in what's going on, you are depleted of power and wisdom and energy and guidance. And it makes you really get caught up in things that really maybe don't deserve your time and energy. And that's why the Devil card is here at the in the underneath. Notice in this version of the Devil card, he's bound and he cannot fly free. He can't get to his spirituality. He can't get to, his guides, anything, because he's so caught up in the physical 3D. And he's caught up in the fight, is what we were talking about. He's caught up in the drama. He's caught up in what's draining him. He's got energy pulling him in every direction. So this is, again, us having to rely on that inner strength again, asking for help and on our journey, using both the masculine part of ourselves, our logic, our reason, our clarity and thought, but also the sacred feminine, which is, nurturing and nourishing ourselves, our divine empowerment, our ability to create and manifest. So very important energy. Okay. This is a really applicable message to all of us. Super happy about this. All right. So what I'm going to do for everybody now, just put your name in the chat and I will pull you guys a beautiful card. So stay tuned. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. Now, many of you guys know or may be aware of that Mabon is pretty much right here, right? And Mabon, I'll read you guys a little bit about. It is, yes, it's more of a pagan Sabbath, and you don't have to, a Wiccan Sabbath. You don't have to celebrate that at all, friends. Please know that. But at the same time, we like to celebrate the seasons, right? So we like to have them. Welcome. I'm so glad to have you guys here. And it's a nice time of like a reflection, right? So we'll pull you guys a Mabon card. Let me first, I can see all your names. That's perfect. Thanks, guys. So, and again, this is the deck I'm using. I highly recommend these decks. Really, they're made by Juliet Diaz and then Lorraine Anderson. They're beautiful decks, really good for seasonal. But Mabon is the themes of Mabon, friends. Okay. Let me just read this to you first. Again, we're always about the little education here, as you guys know. All right. So here we go. Are you guys ready for this? And then we'll pull the cards. This is what they say. I know I love the set. I know I love them. I'm going to have all of them by the end. I love them. Hello again. The wheel now turns to Mabon, the beginning of fall. The Sabbath represents balance, a slower pace, and evaluating your progress. But we also feel a need to highlight the warmth and coziness of autumn days. So we were intentional about focusing more on the darker, richer tones of the fall season, which you'll see here. You may have also noticed that many of the cards in this deck are not very pagan specific, which was also an intentional decision. We are still very much value the old ways, but are also interested in making new traditions that are rooted in the ways of our ancestors and yours, right? That's what this is about. I'm going to talk to you guys next time about a book that I got, which is very much how to create your own rituals and during the seasons of the year, especially for like example, like Ariel, she lives in the southern hemisphere, so we're not on the same at all. She's in spring right now, so you've got to just follow your, do your own thing, right? So this says when we begin to work on this deck, we decide, okay, this deck is about self-care, spiritual self-care, specifically care around establishing boundaries, surrendering to changes, and letting go of what no longer serves us. Isn't that wonderful? So here's some of the themes for Mabon: agriculture, ancestral healing, balance and transitions, concentration, endings and mourning, goals and accomplishments, gratitude, grounding. We saw that, healing and self-care, planning and preparation, sharing and wisdom. All right, guys, let's get to it. We're going to start the read. So I got everybody's name. Thank you so much for submitting your name. We're going to get started. All right, let's see what everybody needs. Very exciting. All right, here we go. All right, so we're going to start with Miss Christy. Actually, Emma. Let's go with Emma. Okay, Emma, are you ready? This is a beautiful one. Cranberries and the number 10. Devour the truth and let it sink into the depths of all that came before and all that came after. Ooh, that's so beautiful. It almost looks like you. There's also some like little wee people right here that are like harvesting the cranberries. That's so beautiful. And I love the bird above her head. Let's read this just a little bit so we can learn about these just briefly for everybody. I'll read sort of what the theme is. This says ancestral roots, connections, power, claiming or reclaiming. Devour the truth and let it sink into the depths of all that came before and all that will come after. That's pretty special. So that's your card for this season, right this week. Okay. All right. Let's go to Miss Christy. Again, thank you guys for being here. So nice to be here for you, be with you. Okay. This is Miss Christy's. We have pumpkin spice and apple cider. Number 30, or also can be seen as number 3, which is growth and creativity. Nothing is more nostalgic than the joy of belonging in your presence. Oh, that's so lovely. I love how she's all cozy with her cup of whatever she's drinking, probably cider, and on the hill. Let's see what her intentions are. Number 30. All right, here we go. So cute. All right. Your keywords, Christy, are nostalgia, joy, belonging, and inner child. Isn't that lovely? I think that's lovely. Okay, good messages here. All right, now we have Crystal. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, let's see what they're giving me here. Okay. Ooh, okay, this is lovely. We have Crystal, coming of darkness. All the light is dimming. Life is withering at the core. Are you ready? This is such a beautiful card. So just so you know, me too. So this has beautiful birds and moons and stars on her robe. Her partner's coming in with these logs, and she has a whole apothecary here, and she seems to be cutting up some vegetables, which is so lovely. It's probably speaking of like getting into your shadow work, but let's read and see what it says. That is the number 7, Crystal, number 7, which is definitely a number of discernment and decisions, and letting go of things, which is great. Here are your key words, Crystal: preparing, coming of darkness. All the light is dimming. Life is withering at the core. Are you ready? And this is a little more of what it says. Your higher self chose this card because a storm is about to hit, and it's a warning to take steps now to prepare for darker times. All cycles must come to an end. It's common to hear the phrase, "All this too shall pass," reference to difficult situations. Rarely, however, is this advice given for good times. Perhaps it's critical to enjoy periods of abundance and happiness, but it's also important to remember that the good cycles of life will also pass at some point. The tables will turn, and while you can't do anything to stop the natural ebb and flow, you can lessen the blow as much as possible. So I remember some years ago, I had this revelation about something, and I think it was when my kids were small and I would get really involved. This is going to sound funny, but when they would, my son was very active in soccer, and I remember he was such an athlete, but there would be these times when their team would lose and it felt like such a big thing for all of us. And my guide said to me, but it's important to go through the ebb and flow, and everything is not supposed to always be at a peak, because then you don't really, when you go to the peak again, you don't really enjoy it as much. Does that make sense? When everything is the same. So I feel like that's, my guides in the beginning of August said to me, it's going to be a tough August, and they were right. My back was out for 3 weeks. So just a little bit of like perspective. All right. Okay. Let's continue. Let's go with Miss Amber. Thank you for being here, Amber. Thank you for being here, everybody. And if you would like me to pull you a card, feel free to just put your name in the chat. All right. Ooh, oh, you got a good one too. All right. You're very welcome, everybody. All right. So this is the crow. The crow. Very beautiful. Pay close attention to the winds. There's a message making its way. That's pretty cool. You also got the number 10. There's 10 people in here. I love that. And this is like the ending of a cycle for you. Actually, number 11, rather. Sorry. 11 is a very, very divine number. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, here we go. Hi, Annabelle. Good to see you. Oh my gosh, we'll pull you a card. Okay. You ready, Amber? Something's coming. The messages, pay attention. Pay close attention to the winds. There's a message making its way. Your higher self chose this card because a message is coming your way. And it's warning you to keep an eye out for important signs and clues for what's to come. Nothing truly manifests without some warning. The signs might be subtle, but they have been prompting you your entire life. You might feel a sensation such as a tingle in your neck, or perhaps a decision gives you a sense of dread. You might have an idea that instantly lifts your spirits, or feel some electricity when you meet someone new. All of these sensations are clues that attempt to steer you towards a rewarding life. Ooh, that's pretty special. That's a really beautiful card. We love the crow. Okay, guys, here we go. All right, next, Ashley. All right, making our way down this list. So happy you guys are here. Thank you for being here. We are pulling from the Mabon deck, which Mabon is right about now. This time of year as fall's getting started. So thank you for being here. Okay. Ooh, I like this too. This is a beauty, Ashley. This says fawn. Oh my God, she's got red hair. And a deer. It says, be curious, dear child, and explore the world within worlds. Wow, that is so matching of you, Amber. Oh, Ashley, sorry. Ashley does have red hair. That's crazy. I love that. So incredible. Oh, I'm so glad. Hi, Jana. How are you? Good to see you. We'll get you a card in a minute too. We're going through the list. Isn't that crazy? I know. I love that. Okay. We're going through the list. All right. Next we have, Nicola. Okay. Nicola. What does Nicola need to know, friends? Nicola. Ooh, this is a beautiful one. Pomegranate. Dare to taste the unknown. Let it seduce your spirit awake. Look at that. Notice how she has little third eyes on her hands, like psychometry. I was teaching one of my students today about psychometry, reading energy with your hands. I love the pomegranate. That's very Persephone, going to the underworld, having experiences. That's the time we're in. Okay, 29. I love that card too. Beautiful. All right, pomegranate. I just want to make sure Crystal knew that we pulled your car, Crystal. Make sure you're still here. Okay, here we go. This is what it says. Keywords. Lust. Wow. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Oh, you didn't hear that? I'm so sorry. I'll get that for you in a sec. Hang on, Ash. So pomegranate, lust, pleasure, seduction, forbidden fruit, sexuality. That's you coming, I think, into that sacred sensuality, which I think is beautiful, especially for ourselves. I think that's so beautiful. Love that. It's for you there, Nicola. Okay, let me get that for you, my dear. See which one that was. All right, the beautiful fawn. You're welcome, Crystal. Good. I just want to make sure you got that. That redhead with the fawn is so beautiful. All right, guys, just give me a sec and I'll be right with ya. Okay, what's your number? Okay. Let's see where she is. All right. I love the illustrations on this. That's just so beautiful. So sweet. I'm creating the 13-month program for, for my priestess path mystery school, I guess you could say. And one of the things that I relate to more is more art. That's more folk art, kind of like these things, as opposed to here it is, the fawn. Are you ready? This is what the fawn says: innocence, learning, educating yourself, leaping into adventure. Be curious, dear child, and explore the world within worlds. That's for you, Ashley. Explore the world within worlds. All right, friends, we're going to continue giving our friends cards. So thank you all for being here. All right, so we got Miss Nicola, we got Emma, we got Christy, we got Amber, Annabelle. Let's give you a card, my friend, for Miss Annabelle. Okay, let's see what we got for her. Ooh, this is a good one. I love that too. Campfire number 6. Do not fear opening your mouth and allowing your tongue to speak. Wow. That is spectacular. Do not fear opening your mouth and letting your tongue speak. Campfire. That's powerful. Number 6. Number 6 is definitely stability, transformation, all the things. I love that so much. Number 6. Okay, this is what it says. Keywords: telling stories, seeking advice from others. Moral of the story. It says, do not fear opening your mouth and allowing your tongue to speak. I love that for you. I really, really do. So awesome. Perfect for you. All right, let me get Miss Jana. And if anyone else is here and I haven't gotten you, please feel free to let me know and I'll pull you a card. Okay, this is for Miss Jana. Ooh, I love this one too. All right, you guys ready for this? Lovely. You're so welcome, Annabelle. Looking forward to our appointment tomorrow. Also, you guys be sure to sign up for my free Akashic Records workshop. It's next weekend on Saturday morning. All right, this is tobacco. This is a really nice one. This is all about your ancestors, okay? Feed your ancestors, raise the sacred smoke to them, for they are hungry to connect. This is just deeply a thing about, and we've talked about this before, I think, is connecting with your ancestors. I'm teaching a workshop on this in person in Portland next month. But this is like having some way you tie in some physical, offering maybe to your ancestors as a way of thanking them, but also creating a connection, which is a lovely energy. Also, the number 4 is stabilities and stableness. Let me just read you from here as well. Really cool. These are your words. Thank you. That makes sense. I created a candle altar for them. Oh, I love that. Good for you. You made them coffee and homemade bread. Wow. Don't tell my ancestors that. They're going to be like, what are you giving us? You got us a cup of coffee, which got cold after an hour. They're like, what about the strudel? What about, the Irish soda bread? Where are you with that? 0, nowhere. Where's our cup? Where's our homemade bread? Hilarious. Okay. Mine have a sense of humor. They kind of have to with you. Okay, here you go, friend. Here it says, purification, connecting to the spirits or ancestors, respect. Feed your ancestors, raise the sacred smoke for them, and they are hungry to connect, which they're getting that. I love that so much. All right. Now, did I miss anybody who possibly didn't get a read yet? And make sure you tell me. Now, next week, I'll probably have a little more energy, and we might even do something else fun that will be a nice surprise. But just want to thank you guys so much for tonight. This was super fun, and thank you for being. This was a nice, gentle evening for me. This is my work, but I love it so much. I actually have to go on to TikTok because it's part of I have to go over there now, but I couldn't do this both at the same time. I go over there and I do what I do over there, bam, 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 because I have to kind of go on regularly. It's part of the algorithm, which is, keeps you at a certain place. But this is my sacred safe space. I want to thank you guys all for being here. I sending you so much love. Please take care of yourself, send your energy, do something nice for yourself this weekend. I will see you all. Make sure you guys watch, please, if you guys can watch my latest videos. I uploaded 2. I upload 2 every week. Please watch the entire things if you can, and leave a comment and maybe a like. Those things really help my channel a lot, and I mean a lot to me too. So it just kind of builds. It tells YouTube, hey, this girl really knows what she's doing. Thank you all so much. Sending you all so much love. It was great seeing you all. I will see you all in the next one. All right. Take care. Bye, guys.